in the fourth quarter. And then there's Mario.
No. Shit, I should have done this. All right, now it's time for you guys to understand what the kiss of death means to us Phoenix fans. All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all having a good night so far. Hope you guys had a wonderful day. And I have to say, sometimes I think you members love me, and other times I think you guys hate me. This was a member's request to check out this video, a fresh new video from Basketball Universe, and a title. You freaking guys, man. The iconic and tragic Charles Barkley, Phoenix Suns era. Oh man, I don't want to do it, but we're gonna do it. I guess I have more insight than the average person on this era of basketball, or I say Phoenix Suns basketball and Charles Barkley basketball. So I have to do it. So let's do it. You asked nicely, and then you had a laughing emoji at the end of the request. I know you know what you're doing, so let's just do this. Guys, like the original video. The link is down in the description for you. You also see a list of my wonderful channel members who like to see me repeatedly get tortured by the 1993 NBA Finals, where Michael Jordan averaged 41 points a game and single-handedly solo missioned us and annihilated us. And we were the best team we've ever been in our franchise history, in my opinion. Anyways, let's move on and let's get into this, guys. Like the video if you could. Hit that hype button if you want to. It'll just spread the word to more people so they can see my suffering. And yeah, let's go.
He made history, broke hearts, and had an ugly breakup with the team. There was never a dull moment. But make no mistake about it, Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns were the greatest show on earth. They were always among the front runners to win the title. They just couldn't get over the hump. We're going to see exactly what made them so great, but also, what was their downfall? Before his arrival, the Phoenix Suns were labeled as a team that were one piece away from winning it all.
Yeah, we always were.
They went to the conference finals in 1989 and 1990.
Yep. All throughout the late 80s, we were that contender that could never quite get to the finals, but we were right knocking on that door year after year.
They also won over 50 games in 4 straight seasons. They had a solid foundation. They just needed that one superstar that could bring it all together. Meanwhile, Charles Barkley was looking for a way out of his situation with the Philadelphia 76ers. He was tired of losing, of the front office, and the way they handled business. He was ready to compete for a championship. He got his wish, and he was traded to the perfect team for him.
Yep.
In the 1992 offseason, he was traded for Jeff Hornacek, Andrew Lang, and Tim Perry. They didn't give up much for one of the 3 best players in the league. They were able to keep their depth, and they even added veteran and 2-time champion Danny Ainge.
Yes, sir.
Charles wasted no time in learning how to play with his new teammates. After only 11 games, they went on a 14-game winning streak, and they never lost momentum. For context, Utah Jazz coach Jerry Sloan made this interesting observation after one of the regular season matchups. Barkley's skills just fit into what they're trying to do in Phoenix. They didn't have to change a lot of things because of his style of play. His ability just blended in when he came there to play.
Yeah.
End of quote.
That's a good assessment. He didn't get in the way of anything. He just blended in perfectly. Sometimes he'd play on the perimeter, and he was fine. Good playmaker. And, I mean, he would take too many threes. That was the only problem. But him in the paint was an absolute menace on both ends of the court. His rebounding, even though he's not a good defender, his defensive presence in the paint was very net positive in my mind. And then on offense, the guy was an absolute monster in the paint. He's exactly what we needed, because the only other guy we had that could score in volumes that was a bigger guy was Tom Chambers, but he didn't play like the big man game. He was more like a stretch big.
Forget that Charles was one of the top all-around players during his prime. It should be no surprise that he was able to adjust so quickly to their style of play. When you look at their roster, they made it so easy for him. We start with Kevin Johnson. He was considered one of the 3 best point guards during the late 80s and early 90s.
Everyone
He just
forgot.
finished an incredible streak of averaging over 20 points and 10 assists per game for 3 straight years.
Wow.
He's only among 5 point guards to ever accomplish this. Then there was Dan Marley, their second leading scorer that season. He was the one that had to adjust his game the most. He went from being the guy who slashed and took it to the hole to a guy who stood out in the perimeter and waited for double teams to take the open shot.
Yep.
The result, that he was able to tie Reggie Miller for the most 3-pointers made that season.
I know.
Then they had 4-time
and then when he went to the bench, usually we had long-range Danny Ainge come in, and he was a hell of a spot-up shooter at this phase of his career.
All-star Tom Chambers coming off the bench as well. Both Dan Marley and Tom Chambers finished in the top 5 for 6th man of the year. They also had Cedric Ceballos, who led the league in field goal percentage. He averaged nearly 58% from the field.
Oh yeah, CC.
There were even
won a dunk contest during this time too.
nights where he was the best player.
If you ever saw a dude with a black blindfold on him, and he did a straight line dunk, 2-handed, not a free throw dunk, but it was a cool dunk. We never seen a blindfolded dunk before that.
On the floor, like when he gave the Sacramento Kings 40 points on 93% shooting. Then there was Richard Dumas, who's putting up big numbers in his rookie season.
Yeah, he was.
He averaged 15.8 points per game on 52% shooting.
I was Dumas's biggest fan, a huge fan, and yeah. Let's see if he talks about it.
This was the only season where he was able to stay clean and show the basketball world what he was capable of.
Such a good player. If it wasn't for drug abuse, it's such a tragedy. The guy in his rookie year was somehow making a splash on this Phoenix Suns team that was full of talent. You know, you would think he'd get buried on the bench and not get any respect. No, this guy forced his way in and made a huge impact on the team. Drugs are bad, okay?
For many basketball fans in the 90s, he was one of the biggest what-ifs. There was simply no team that could keep up with their high-power offense, and they also had 7 players that averaged in double figures. But the biggest difference maker was Charles Barkley. When Kevin Johnson went down with an injury and missed 32 games, it was Charles that became their main playmaker. They had to slow it down a little bit more without their speedy point guard, and they ran the offense through him. He did an exceptional job.
It's such a simple, patient move right here.
Their speedy point.
Oh, you're gonna double team me?
Guard,
gotcha.
And they
it's so basic.
Ran the offense through him. He did an exceptional.
And if he doesn't get a double team, turnaround jump shot.
Job at getting others involved and knowing when to take over. In the end, he had one of the greatest all-around seasons by a big man. He is currently only the 5th power forward/center to average over 25 points, 10 rebounds.
It's funny we call him a big man, but I just heard him say on Inside the NBA the other day that he's 6'5"
and 5 assists per game. But he didn't just impact the team with his numbers. He gave them some much needed toughness, and he pushed them to a level of greatness that nobody could have envisioned. That's what caught the eye of the majority of the league voters. This is what swayed them to select him as the MVP winner. Charles admitted they probably had better seasons during his time with the Sixers. He also said that the only difference is that he was now playing with a winner. That may be true, but he did average a career high in assists. We can say for certain that he made his teammates better, that he could be the best player on a potential championship winning team. He made things look so easy in the regular season.
I gotta say, the Suns were happy as hell. It reminds me of the 05 Phoenix Suns, where it's just like all smiles and everyone is celebrating, high fives all over the place. Barkley brought that to the team too. The team unity was off the charts.
But the playoffs was a different story. Their first round opponent was the AC Los Angeles Lakers, who won 39 games. This was supposed to be an easy sweep. In fact, they lost all 5 games against the Suns in the regular season. However, they won the first 2 games on the road.
Yeah.
Now people will
And then Paul Westphal had the classic, memorable press conference where he was like, we're going to come back and win game 3. And then we're going to come back on Wednesday or whatever, and we're going to win game 2. And then we're going to come back and finish the series on Friday or whatever, whatever the day it was. It was an awesome thing because we did exactly what he said we were going to do.
Wondering if it would be the Suns that would get swept.
And coming down from a 2-0 lead against the Lakers in 1993 when it was a 5-game series, that one right there made the Phoenix Suns the greatest of all time.
For some
That's what I think.
Reason they couldn't close out games. The Lakers finished Game 1 with a 9-0 run, and they finished Game 2 with a 9-1 run. They needed to play better in the clutch. After snapping out of their funk and winning the next 2 games, they had their chance to redeem their fourth quarter struggles in the deciding Game 5. And this one was a classic. James Worthy had a vintage performance, knowing that this was probably the last stand of his career. The Suns were down by 2 points with 26 seconds left, and they needed someone to save their season.
Not yet. Marley. Oh my goodness.
Dan Marley was able to force overtime, and they avoided the disaster ending of losing in the first round as the 1 seed.
It's funny, by the way, this team without Magic Johnson was still accomplishing this, was still giving the Phoenix Suns, the best team in the regular season, a really hard time in the playoffs. Yet we discredit the 91 Lakers, even though they had Magic Johnson still. This is a good team, you guys.
From this point forward, Barkley started playing like the MVP. In Game 2, he had one of the greatest all-around performances of his playoff career. He finished with 35 points on 67% shooting,
67.
10 rebounds, 7 steals,
7
3
steals,
blocks, and 2 assists.
3 blocks. I told you. I don't know what was going on. He was not notoriously a good defender. However, boy, was he playing good for Phoenix in 92-93.
That is tied for the third most steals recorded in a playoff game.
It's crazy.
When motivated, he could shut down his opponents on the defensive end.
Damn, man.
Then in the last 2 games of the series, he had some noteworthy clutch moments. In Game 5, he erupted for 19 points for the final period. He shot 6 of 7 from the field, and he converted on 3 3-point plays. Then in Game 6, he had the most memorable clutch moment of his career.
Oh, yeah.
The pull-up jumper by Barkley falls with 1.6 seconds remaining.
I love it.
And San Antonio uses their final timeout.
It was a tough shot over one of the game's best defensive players, but he was only getting started. What he did against the Seattle Supersonics in the conference finals was historic. For those who were questioning my statement of Charles being one of the top all-around players during his prime, I present to you what he did in Game 5.
He was. It just didn't last that long. Or we could say the majority of his prime was in Philly and it was wasted. But as far as like being on a contender, his prime only lasted about 2 years. You know, with the Suns, it was 2 great years, and then the decline started, the weight gain started, and all that. But you could see by the time it was the 92 Olympics, and Barkley was the showcase. Whether we want to admit it or not, Barkley was the guy, because nobody else out there was really trying to prove himself nearly as much as Charles Barkley was. This is the phase of his career from like 92 to like 94, 95, where he was out to try to prove to the world that he's the greatest basketball player in the world. So the Suns, we got him at the exact perfect time.
He had the monster stat line of 43 points on 73% shooting,
Like 20 rebounds,
15
right?
rebounds,
15.
10 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks.
Damn.
He proved that he's one of the greatest offensive players of his position, as he had a lethal inside-outside game.
Yeah, he's playing defense too, man.
That forced the Sonics to double team him, and Dan Marley made them pay for leaving him open. He went 8 of 10 from the 3. Then, when the series was extended to a 7th game,
get out of
he
here.
somehow outdid himself. He recorded the legendary stat line of 44 points on 60% shooting and 24 rebounds.
Oh, that's the game I was thinking about. Man, say it again. Say it again.
Stat line of 44 points on 60% shooting and 24 rebounds.
Amazing.
Only Elgin Baylor has posted a 40-20 performance in a Game 7. This is a perfect example of his greatness. He is known as one of the greatest rebounders of all time, and he dominated the boards. He had a total of 10 offensive rebounds, and he created so many second chance opportunities. That was showcased in the fourth quarter when he took it upon himself to lead his team to the finals.
Look at this beast.
He had 15 points and 12 rebounds during the final period. At this point, he completely validated his career as an all-time great.
Yeah, agreed.
The unfortunate thing is he had to face Michael Jordan in the finals.
Yeah, so this is the thing, guys, and I love how he's building this up, because the stupid narrative, the Bulls had no competition in the finals, get the hell right out of town with that statement. You watching this monster of a team led by a monster in his peak, And we have a tired-ass team trying to get their third straight championship. Not only that, but Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan just got done playing in the Olympics. These guys are tired, okay? And yet, they still performed the way they performed in the finals. Blows my freaking mind.
He faced a harsh reality that he couldn't outperform him. Charles had a 42-point game on 62% shooting that came in a loss because Jordan nearly posted a 40-point triple-double. Then he had a 30-point triple-double that also came in a loss because Michael had 55
Look
points.
at this.
It just wasn't fair.
No, it's not. You want to throw your whole team at a guy. There's Dumas, there's Barkley, there's Marley. He's going to go through Tom Chambers as well, and nobody can stop him?
55 points.
What are you supposed to do?
Just wasn't fair. When your opponent is averaging 41 points per game on over...
Hold on. I want to look at this as a grown man again and decide if this is a charge or not.
When your opponent...
Oh, okay. His positioning is good. Let's see if he plants. Oh, hands up. Oh, nope. He left the ground. Charles. Dude, he was so good at drawing charges at this point too, but he just left the floor. He couldn't decide if he was going to go for the block or not, I guess. Up. Dang. He went up instead of back. That's a tough call. It was the right call in my opinion, but that's a tough call. That's a tough call. I should have just taken the impact and fallen backwards. That would have been a legit charge.
1 points per game on over 50%
Good shot,
shooting.
MJ.
There is nothing that you can do. To add insult to injury, their historic season had to end with the ultra rare game-winning shot.
You know, something I never noticed, but like another video covering this, a commenter pointed out, look at what BJ Armstrong is going to do over here, okay? I know that blur right there, okay? Pay attention. This is incredible. Like, I can't believe he did this. Just watch this play out.
Their historic
Okay? Good pass. Better pass.
had to end
Shot's about to go.
with the ultra rare game-winning shot.
What kind of confidence is that in your teammate? That Pax was going to hit it. He was so confident that he just falls down.
Their historic season had to end with the ultra rare game-winning shot that won the final.
What if he missed a shot, man? My boy. This is my guy who stole my shoes.
This is why no one views this season as a failure.
What's up, Frank?
In fact,
What's up, Paul?
The 1993 Phoenix Suns are one of the first teams we think of when discussing the greatest teams that never win a title. It's been nearly 33 years, and we still talk about what they accomplished. That has to count for something. In the following season, the odds of them winning the title shot through the roof when Michael Jordan retired.
Yeah.
Their window of opportunity was wide open.
I know.
After adding
And then came the next monster.
AC Green and Joe Klein to the mix,
Joe Klein.
they proved how serious they were.
Yeah, AC Green, Iron Man. Never missed a game. Never complained.
If everything went right, this was a team that everyone was picking to win it all. Unfortunately, everything seemed to go wrong. It started with Richard Dumas getting suspended for the entire season for drug abuse.
Yeah.
Then there were all the injuries. Just to give you an idea of how bad it was, the Suns had to go through 17 different starting lineups. Charles Barkley was also battling through injuries all year. He was playing through back, hamstring, groin, elbow, and knee problems. This explains why he missed 17 games and his scoring average dropped by 4 points per game. But here's the crazy part. The Suns still won 56 games, which was the third best record in the West. Even while missing so many key pieces, they still posted the highest points per game in offensive rating. Imagine if this team was healthy. They would have easily had the best record in the league. The good news was that everyone was back for the playoffs. In the first round, they were facing the 50-win Golden State Warriors.
Oh, wow, yeah.
They had the second highest points per game average. They were led by Chris Webber, Chris Mullin, and Latrell Sprewell. This was a dangerous squad.
Yeah, it was.
But Charles Barkley took them apart like it was nothing. In Game 3, he had one of the greatest playoff performances in league history. He recorded 56 points on 74% shooting, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block.
Nice.
That is tied for the fourth
Defense
highest
again.
scoring game in the playoffs. On top of that, it's the most efficient 50-point performance
Nice shot.
in playoff history. If Sir Charles is playing like that, anything is possible. But they weren't done.
I just gotta point it out. Look at this. Instead of like doing the foul baiting thing that we see nowadays, he's just going to go for the shot, absorb the contact, hope for the call. If the call doesn't come, don't matter. He's going to hit the shot. I love this type of basketball.
On top of that,
look,
it's the most efficient.
Right into it. He don't give a damn. He don't give a damn.
50-point performance
No call. It's
in
fine.
playoff history.
Money.
If Sir Charles is playing like that, anything is possible. But they weren't done making history. We have what they did to the
Wesley
Houston
Persons.
Rockets in Game 1. They were down by 18 points in the second quarter. They clawed their way back and proved why they were the top offensive team. Their pace and ball
Nice
movement
rhythm.
was exquisite. Then in Game 2, they were down by 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Look at
And
him
once
feeding Danny Ainge in perfect rhythm.
again, their explosive offense brought them all the way back. It's performances like these that showcase how special they were. You saw some of the modern elements where everyone on the floor was an outside threat. When they were controlling the pace, you were simply at their mercy. After this historic comeback, it was hard to picture the Suns losing. The Rockets couldn't seem to
If you've never heard about the kiss of death, you're about to.
keep up. But everything changed once the series moved to Phoenix. They lost both of their home games and were looking at a 3-2 series deficit. What exactly happened? After rewatching the games, it was clear what the problem was. The Rockets weren't a good matchup for the Suns. At times, Houston would have Hakeem, Otis Thorpe, and Robert Horry on the floor together. That made it extremely tough for Charles to score in the paint, and he struggled. The Rockets used their size advantage against them. For games 3 and 4, he shot a combined 16 of 43 from the field. Then on defense, there were times during crucial moments where their front line was AC Green and Barkley. You have to send help when facing a player like Hakeem.
I know, prime Hakeem. You know, I hated this Houston Rockets team for obvious reasons during this time, but I can't deny it, man. Like, once it came to the finals, like, I was all about Hakeem Olajuwon, dude. Like, he earned my respect so hardcore.
Houston's roster was designed to surround him with shooters. He would just pass it out.
Yep.
They would
Double
swing the
team.
ball around.
Swing
They
it.
had various capable shooters. They were in fact the top 3-point shooting team. Once the role players started hitting shots, it was over. This caused the Suns to make adjustments in their lineup.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, what are you supposed to do in this situation? Oliver Miller is not the type of defender who can guard Hakeem one-on-one. Honestly, it's arguable. No center in the entire league can guard prime Hakeem Olajuwon one-on-one. I think that's a fair statement to make, especially not Oliver Miller. So you could let Hakeem destroy us, or we can start sending into double teams. But then he's going to dish out and the shooters are going to destroy us. This is the eternal basketball question. What is the right choice? Do you let somebody go off for 40 or 45 a game and just let it be, but hope everybody else is not contributing and you win? Or do you try to make that guy go from 45 to maybe 28, 27 points a game, but you're leaving... But yeah. But you're slowing him down, but then you're allowing the rest of the team to get involved and score. I'd kind of argue that sending the double team is worse, because I'd rather dare one guy to beat us alone in a team sport than to have him get his whole team involved and everybody's in rhythm and we're trying to combat that. Like, I think the trap is sending in the double team. That goes for guys like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Shaq. I've never seen that the double team does any positive, because anybody learns after the first season of getting double team. You dish it out to the open man, you know? Always identify where the double's coming from. That way you know where to dish the ball.
It even been
I'm curious about you guys, though. What do you think? Because this happens all the time, especially in big series like this. Do you send a double team? Or if you're the coach, will you just let the guy score as much as he can and see if he's going to beat you solo mission?
For games 6 and 7, he played a combined 6 minutes in order to add size with Joe Klein. At that point, the Rockets had them right where they wanted them. Then the MVP of the league did the rest. He had a monster Game 7 performance, and the Suns' season was over. This was a devastating blow. Charles was even hinting at retirement. He was blaming it on the injuries, and he didn't know how much more his body could take. This wouldn't be the last time they threatened to leave the game for good. The Suns knew that they needed to make some changes.
He's probably thinking my buddy MJ retired, I might as well too.
Or to get over the hump. They added veteran scorer Wayman Tisdale.
Oh yeah, Tiz.
But nothing was bigger than when they landed two-time All-Star Danny Manning. At this point, we all know how deep the Suns were, but everyone was saying that Danny was their second best player.
Elliot.
Keep in mind, the Charles missed 11 of their first
Elliot
12
Perry,
games.
I think. We used to call him Socks.
We
call him Socks because he wore his socks like all the way up to his knee practically.
Manning replaced him in the starting lineup.
Oh, here's proof. Here's proof. Look at him. Look at those socks. They're going up past his knee. Right up to his knee, I think. That's crazy.
And they went 8-3, with Manning serving as a primary scoring option. Once Barkley returned to the lineup, Danny was sent to the bench. This is why many Suns fans say that this was the best team of the Charles Barkley era. This might have been the deepest team of that entire decade. With such a versatile and skilled player like him coming off the bench, as well as Dan Majerle as a designated sixth man, there was no one that could keep up. On top of that, he played so well with Barkley. It's like they were made to play with each other. That is why the Suns posted a 23-4 record with Manning coming off the bench. At the All-Star break, they were the best team in the league. They had a 38-10 record. But during a practice session, they suffered a tremendous blow. Danny Manning tore his ACL after landing on Joe Klein's foot.
Ouch.
He would miss the remainder of the season. It was a story of this team. They just couldn't overcome the injury bug. Kevin Johnson also missed nearly half the season. Despite all of that, they won 59 games. They finished second in the league in points and were third in offensive rating.
Crazy.
You know a team is deep when you win nearly 60 games while missing so many key players. The good news is that mostly everyone was back for the playoffs. In the first round, they swept the Portland Trail Blazers. Just like in the previous year, Charles had another monster Game 3 performance. He had 47 points on 62% shooting, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals, and 2 assists. They wanted to get them out the way to get some sweet revenge. They were facing the Houston Rockets once again in the semifinals. But this time, they had Clyde Drexler. Now they had to worry about stopping 2 all-time great players.
I'm surprised Portland was even in the playoffs considering they lost their star. If I don't recall, but if anybody remembers, who was like the main guy on that Portland team?
They weren't phased one bit. They completely crushed the Rockets in the first 2 games. They won by 22 points in Game 1 and by 20.
I'm not looking forward to the end of this part. This is not cool.
4 points in Game 2.
You'll understand why I hated the Rockets.
Their swarming defense was impressive. They didn't let the Rockets do anything they wanted, and the ball was moving beautifully all over the court. They were playing Suns basketball to perfection. Then in Game 4, it was the heroics of an individual that brought Houston to the brink of elimination. Kevin Johnson had the game of his life. He had 43 points on 75% shooting, 9 assists, 6 rebounds.
I reacted to highlights of this game a while back.
And 3 steals. Despite all the injuries that he suffered in the past 3 seasons, he was still able to have a huge impact. Thanks to his vintage performance that took a 3-1 series lead. For Game 5, this is where things start getting ugly. The Suns are at their home floor, and this is where you need to take care of business. Don't repeat what happened in the previous year. In the second half, Charles Barkley couldn't get the ball in the basket. He only had 1 point. In the final 2 minutes, he had opportunities to put the game away, and he missed 3 free throws. That includes one that would have extended the lead to 3 points with 17.9 seconds remaining.
Wow, I don't remember him choking those free throws. Wow.
On the other end, Hakeem Olajuwon made this clutch basket that tied the game and saved their season. This was their chance of getting revenge, and they blew it. The Rockets were able to extend the series, and they eventually forced a Game 7.
Oh no.
To make matters worse,
I don't want to. I just don't want to.
Barkley was playing through a knee injury. All game long, the announcers were saying that he couldn't jump. This is why he scored only 18 points on 44% shooting. To his credit, he was dominant on the boards. He was able to pull down 23 rebounds with 1 good leg.
Damn!
Someone else needed to step up, and that's when Kevin Johnson came to the rescue. He had one of the greatest Game 7 performances in league history. He had 46 points on 46% shooting, 10 assists, and 3 rebounds.
Yeah, if you guys don't understand why we love KJ over here still to this day, this is why, man. KJ was our heart. People always remember Barkley coming in, and that's where we were true contenders for a couple years. But KJ was our heart the entire time.
This is only the third time that a player has posted over 40 points and 10 assists in a Game 7. This was also the second time that he scored over 40 points in this series. Out of all the legendary players that the Rockets faced during their 2 title runs, KJ was the one that gave them the most problems. On the other side, the Rockets had a variety of players that stepped up. Clyde Drexler and Sam Cassell were huge in that third quarter. And
this is where I mean, even though I was hating on his team, this is where I became a fan of Sam Cassell and Robert Horry. Obviously, Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, I was already big fans of.
Incredible in the fourth quarter.
Shot.
Were huge in that third quarter. And Hakeem.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, no. But everyone's coming in from one angle. What do you think Hakeem is going to do? Of course he's going to spin away from the triple team here.
Olajuwon was
gotcha,
incredible.
But what a shot. What a hard angle. Look at his legs at the point of release. Hakeem Olajuwon, you guys. Man.
In the fourth quarter. And then there's Mario Ellie.
No. Shit, I should have done this. All right. Now it's time for you guys to understand what the kiss of death means to us Phoenix fans.
Ellie out of the corner for 3. Hit it! Mario Ellie with a 3!
If you're a Suns fan, I don't know how you handled those 3 years. You faced the 2 best players of that decade. If we're talking the greatest playoff runs of all time, the 1993 playoff run by Jordan and the 1994 playoff run by Hakeem are top 5 worthy.
Yeah.
Then the 1995 playoff run by Hakeem is also top 10 worthy.
Yep.
That was their competition. Then you experience 2 of the biggest shots in NBA history on your home floor.
We sure did.
Seriously, I understand why Charles Barkley threatened to retire again after this playoff defeat.
Yeah,
it's just too devastating for someone that's put their blood, sweat, and tears into something. There was always something.
I get it too, and as a Suns fan, like, it's hard to want to run it back after this type of heartbreak. 3 years in a row, man. 3 years in a row.
Seemed to go wrong that prevented them from winning the title. And just like that, their championship window was closed for good. In the offseason, Danny Ainge retired. Dan Marley was traded away for Hot Rod Williams.
Yeah, it's so sad.
They struggled so much in the 1995-96 season that they fired Paul Westphal. They ended up with a 41-41 record and were bounced from the first round by the San Antonio Spurs. This was the end of the Charles Barkley era, and he wasn't going to go away quietly. In the middle of the 1996 season, he was talking to reporters about playing alongside Patrick Ewing in the New York Knicks. He then publicly ripped the organization for shopping him around like a piece of meat. And that's a direct quote. It was an ugly breakup, which led to him getting traded to the Houston Rockets. He didn't last long in Phoenix, but man was it memorable.
It was very memorable.
Even though he only played 4 seasons, he's the first player that many of us think of when talking about the Phoenix Suns. They might not have won the title, but they made history in other ways. But what about you all? What do you remember the most from that era? Other than injuries, what do you think was the main reason why they couldn't win it all? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.
What do I remember the most is hope and heartbreak. Lots of hope and lots of heartbreak. I do kind of, I said what I said a minute ago, but truly I do wish we did run it back. I wish Charles stayed committed, and I wish we didn't shop him around, and I wish we would have just ran it back, because the truth is we weren't going to get any real hope as an organization for another 10 years. So I would have loved to see like another 2 years with the Barkley lineup, and just see what happens. I would have loved it if Charles Barkley retired a Phoenix Sun. I guess that's really what I'm getting at. And I think he kind of wishes that too, because whenever he talks about his time with the Suns, it was his favorite time playing basketball. He loves Phoenix, still has a home here. And he always talks about saying, I wish, like, my biggest regret is not bringing a championship to Phoenix. Like, his heart is still with the Phoenix Suns. So I would have loved it if he got to retire here instead of the kind of dishonorable way he went out, you know? His last couple of years are very questionable in the league, and he would be the first to admit it. He says now, looking back, like he's embarrassed on those years. So I know it's not just us, but anyways, what else do I remember? I don't know. just heartbreak, really. That's what it is. But it's also like a weird acceptance that, like, how hard it is to win a championship. You know, we can sit here and just say the obvious reasons. Well, prime Michael Jordan's hard to beat. He is. He absolutely is. Prime Hakeem Olajuwon is hard to beat. He is. Yeah. And then prime Hakeem Olajuwon plus Clyde Drexler is even harder to beat. Yes, indeed. All these things are true. So I get when NBA players say, like, all the stars have to align to win a championship, because it's really true. Everyone has to stay healthy. You know, you have to be the biggest dog out there, and there can't be a bigger dog out there. If there is, then you're probably going to lose. Like, everything has to go just right. Team chemistry has to be there. Defense has to be there. So I understand why people say it's so hard. And it's also why, like, when you got somebody who's stacking like 6 rings or whatever, like, you have to just take a step back and appreciate what they did. And in Hakeem Olajuwon, him getting 2 the hard way like he did, you gotta respect it. Giannis winning against my Suns the ultra hard way, you know, destroying us, solo mission. Gotta respect it. Dirk, gotta respect it. Anyways, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. This video was hard to watch. I'm out of here, you guys. I did what I was supposed to do, and I reacted to the video. Man. 3 great rosters I've seen us have. 3 great rosters that were the best in the NBA. Until it came to the end, and then we weren't the best in the NBA anymore. But man, 3 times. I wonder if I'll live long enough to see a 4th. We'll see. Anyways, and I really wonder if I'll live long enough to see an NBA championship brought to Phoenix. But who knows? Maybe the Cardinals will win one sooner. The Cardinals are like the laughing stock. Anyways, I'm out of here. Guys, like the vid on the way out. Dislike it, or if you want to make me feel even worse than I do, that's cool. Hey, you want to make me feel even worse? Just unsubscribe right now. Members, I love you. I hate you. You know how it is. This was a doozy. All right, I'm out of here. I'm rambling. Guys, be water, my friends. Shit.